Okay, we're going to go ahead and look at solving linear equations, first using the addition property. So remember, you can download these lecture notes and just fill them out together with me, just like you would in a regular classroom. So let's talk about first what is an expression versus an equation. So an expression just means that you don't have an equal sign. So no equal sign. And that means you're not really solving. So what we did before was simplify expressions by combining like terms. This is in contrast to an equation, which means it does have an equal sign, and it means you can solve for your variable. So we'll actually be solving for whatever variable that we have. So we're going to be starting with a linear equation in one variable. And a linear equation in one variable can be written in the form ax plus b equals c, where a, b, and c are real numbers. So we're not talking about imaginary numbers here. I'm just going to abbreviate this. And then one other important part is that a cannot equal 0. And if you think about it, if a was 0, you would have 0 times x, which is 0, and you don't have a variable. So then your linear equation is gone. So let's look at the addition property of equality, how we solve a linear equation. If you have two things equal to each other, if a equals b, then if you add or in the same token subtract this same number from both sides, so if I decide to add, in this case c, to both sides, it stays an equivalent equation, as long as you're adding or subtracting this same number, so in this case c. And so that's how we're able to solve, by using this property. So if I go to example 1, it says solve 9 plus a equals -3. My goal is to get this variable right here, a, by itself. So I'm going to look at the term that's next to it, which is a 9, and I want to get rid of this 9. So this is a positive 9, because remember, you take the sign in front of the number, and in order to get rid of a positive 9, you have to do the opposite operation. So the opposite of a positive is a negative. And I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. And you can see the reason that'll work is 9 minus 9 is 0. Those cancel out. So whatever you do to one side of the equal sign means you have to go over, here's my equal sign, to the other side of the equal sign and also subtract 9 here. So I'm going to subtract from both sides, put a line there to show what I'm going to be left with. So these cancel, bring down the a, bring down the equal sign, and then just be careful of your signs. -3 minus 9 is a -12. Okay, so let's do the same thing with example 2 here. Now the only thing is, before we do this example, we need to simplify. This is way too complicated to start trying to add or subtract a number from one side, and a mistake could easily happen. So PEMDAS, the order of operations, says let's look at this parentheses first, and we have an exponent. So this is saying -2 squared. So I'm going to take -2 and square it. -2 times -2 is a +4. So I'm going to bring down the x, the minus sign, and then -2 squared, I'll just write 4 equals 17. Okay, now that I've done this, it's much simpler. I can go ahead and solve for my variable. So the variable I'm solving for here is x. I'm going to get this by itself. So I'm going to look at the term next to it first. It's a -4. The opposite of a minus is a plus, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So add it to this side of the equal sign, go to the other side, and also add 4. These are going to cancel out, bring down the x, equals 17 plus 4 is 21. And we've solved for our variable.